Welcome back to Foster and Grow, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us again. Got another beautiful plant to show you today, don't we, Jared?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Kalanchoe Thyrsiflora.
Yeah, I think you pronounced that correctly. It is a bit of a mouthful. Let us know if that is the correct way to pronounce it in the comments section. They are also called two very common names, Flapjack and a paddle plant, and it's just because of the shape of the leaves. And these guys actually originate in South Africa and Botswana.
Yeah, so in terms of characteristics for this plant, you'll notice that they get to about 75 centimetres tall and about 45 centimetres wide.
So in inches, that's 30 inches tall and 18 inches wide.
Yeah, apart from that, they also tend to form what you call basal rosettes with light green to greyish kind of leaves with red tinging on the sides. You'll also notice with this that they get like a white powdery bloom over them, which is actually in place for basically sun protection, wasn't it, Gary?
Yeah, exactly. And you will notice that the top part of the leaves are actually pointed to the sun, even probably more so on this smaller example. And this is another protective measure for the plant takes just to reduce the sun exposure. Pretty incredible.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So further to that, you'll also find that they do flower, these guys. It takes about 3 or 4 years for the plant to mature to a point that they actually can flower. And then once that does happen, you'll find that because they're a monocarpic plant, which basically means they'll flower and then die, that particular section of the plant will die off, but you should have enough offsets coming off the plant that you've still got more of the plant to survive.
Yeah, incredible. And when it does flower, Jared, what can we expect flower-wise?
Yeah, so just in terms of the flowers, first of all, you'll notice that they've got quite a strong scent. The other thing as well is that they tend to have cylindrical tube-shaped bright yellow flowers as well.
Yeah.
So very cool.
Yeah, awesome. So when it comes to the location for the flapjack, we've actually got it potted so we can move it because it is sensitive to certain things. They're definitely not frost tolerant, so if you do get frosts, don't put them outside because they will get frostburn and possibly die. They can tolerate temperatures down to about -4 degrees Celsius, which is about 25 degrees Fahrenheit. However, they won't like that long term. These plants do like warmer conditions above about 10 degrees Celsius.
So to give that a bit of context as well, guys, we've had one of these out just in the general garden as well last year.
Yeah, we did try
where
that.
It died back to basically just a very small amount above it because of the frost damage it received.
Yeah.
So we ended up using that same one to basically repot.
And that was with it being sort of semi-sheltered as well, so it wasn't in full open conditions, and it still didn't like it. The other things I don't like as well in the heat of the summer is massive amounts of direct light. So we do protect these from the full direct light during the middle of the afternoon. So we've got it on a south-facing wall during summer, which does give it the extra protection that it needs. And in winter we would actually move this into a greenhouse or overwinter it inside. However, we'd have that maybe a north-facing window so that it gets more sun. These plants will need about 6 hours of sunlight daily to thrive.
Yeah, so in terms of plant care for this guy, one of the really important things is your watering habits. So a well-draining soil is very crucial, as it is with all succulents. Apart from that, you will want to water them thoroughly when you do water them, but you want to allow enough time between waterings that the soil dries out as well. So we always say basically check the soil, check the leaves, in terms of the best ways to see if your plant does need a watering at all. We've also got further information on that just in a video up here. But apart from that, the other big thing you guys will need to worry about with this plant is just getting sunburn to it. So you'll see with this part of the plant just here that basically it's had a little bit too much sun, and as a result it's had a bit of damage. So you just want to make sure that basically you don't have direct sunlight on it all day, particularly if you're in a very hot environment. But apart from that, just lessen your watering a little bit in winter, and I think we're pretty much good to go apart from the...
Yeah, the only other thing that this plant does show, and we'll put a picture up, is hail damage. My mistake. So yeah, unfortunately this one got caught out in quite a bit of hailstorm. So yeah, you'll be able to see from the photos we're showing now. So when it comes to propagation for the flapjack plant, it's very, very simple. There's 3 ways that you can do it. So you can do it via a leaf cutting, where you pull that leaf off, let it callus, which should take about a week, and then in about a month you should hopefully get roots. You can also do it via a stem cutting, so you'd essentially be cutting the top of the plant off. Won't look as pretty, but the plant would be much bigger, and it's the same process with callusing and waiting for roots. The third way, which you will see on the actual plant, is via one of the offsets that actually comes out from the base. Now these will probably already have roots, so this may be an even better way. It'll also won't affect the main part of the plant as much. So very, very easy plants to propagate, and we do have a couple of examples of this type of plant being propagated here. So Jared, are there any other sort of interesting facts or tidbits about the flapjack plant?
Yeah, so in terms of the Kalanchoe Thyrsiflora, which we've got here, it's also commonly mistaken for a Kalanchoe Luciae.
So what's the differences?
Yeah, so these ones, one of the first things you could look for is in terms of the flowering, if you're lucky enough to see them flowering at that point in time.
Yeah.
So as we were touching on earlier, the Thyrsiflora has actually got quite a strong scent.
Yeah.
Whereas the Luciae doesn't have much of a scent.
Yeah.
Further to that, you also get kind of cylindrical tube-shaped flowers, which are quite bright yellow on the Thyrsiflora, whereas they're more of a kind of urn shape on the Luciae, and not quite as bright or as vibrant.
Yeah, that's right. And then there's also the leaf colouring, isn't it? So we'll chuck another picture of this up so it's easy to see. They get much more striking red leaves through the whole plant on the Luciae, as opposed to just on the sort of outsides on the Thyrsiflora. So yeah, apparently the Thyrsiflora is a little bit more rare in general than the Luciae, but they're both absolutely beautiful plants.
So once again, guys, thank you very much for coming along on this ride with us and checking out our content. If you have enjoyed it, please throw us a like and a subscribe. It does really help. But yeah, anything else you'd like to say, Gareth? Or?
Just with all the COVID stuff, just make sure you're staying safe, you stay at home where possible, and just know that we'll get through this all together. And yeah, we'll be bringing you another beautiful plant video again very soon. Bye.
See you guys.